It is News Extra time on a Friday. Last one of the year, I guess, right, Kevin Mooney?
That is right. It's the last one of the year. I think it's only fitting if you have the last one of the year, you have somebody new in state government that's here. And we're very pleased to have the new Department of Economic Development Director, Dave Rippe. He's only been on the job just a couple of weeks, and we thank him for doing what he's doing this week. You are touring most of the central and western Nebraska, spending a lot of your time in rural communities. Kind of explain why you decided the second week of on the job, instead of staying in the office and getting used to things there, you decided to come out west.
Well, you know, Kevin, first of all, thanks for the opportunity to be here, and an honor to close out the last show of the year.
You bet.
And you know, the office isn't always a fun place to be, and so sometimes it's good to get out. But like I told the folks back in Lincoln, we really need to focus on having a better understanding of our customer. And the customers of the Department of Economic Development, the state, are the businesses, communities, and people in Nebraska. And how do you know what those folks want if you don't come out and talk to them?
And you've been, explain where you've been this week. You've been all over.
Yeah, so my home base, my family's in Hastings, so the logical place to start Tuesday morning was in Hastings. From there we went to Kearney, Lexington, Valentine, Broken Bow, North Platte, Ogallala, Sidney, Alliance, and Kimball, and now we're here.
Wow, fantastic. And you're spending much of the day here. You have a reception at 9 o'clock that runs to 10 over at City Hall, and then you have a community tour throughout the city. Let's just talk, I guess, first of all, give us a quick biography of who Dave Rippe is. There are probably not a lot of people out here that know who you are.
Yeah, you're probably right. Dave Rippe is a native Nebraskan, born and raised in Malcolm, Nebraska, which is just outside of Lincoln. Went to school in Lincoln, and then spent some time working for our state, for the state legislature, for the Department of Economic Development on the first tour. And then I spent the last 8 years serving in Hastings, working for the Economic Development Corporation there. And then had a great opportunity to come and serve the state and lead the Department of Economic Development and serve at the pleasure of the governor. And so kind of an opportunity you couldn't turn down.
All right. When you've been making these trips around this week, what are those folks telling you that's their biggest concern about, you know, the pluses for economic development and maybe the things that are challenges for them?
Yeah, so the most reassuring thing to see throughout the state has been strong communities. We have a number of strong communities in our state, and it's been a real pleasure to get to meet with the leaders in those communities. The needs aren't any surprise because I've been living it in Hastings and seeing it across our state for the last decade, and that's workforce and housing. Folks need that future workforce as our workforce turns over right now, and they need the housing that those folks demand. What's been kind of a surprise for me, I think, as I've been out, what I wasn't expecting is really been those young leaders that are in each of those communities, and really the assistance and support that they're seeking from what I would call a statewide network. They want to learn. They want to see what other communities are doing. They want to know best practices that are happening outside of their communities. They don't want to recreate a wheel. They just want to do what's best for their community, and so. Really seeing the passion in the different communities and coming from young leaders has really been neat to see.
And their challenges in smaller communities are maybe a little different than the larger ones, and the fact that sometimes you meet with small town politics or personal things that maybe make it difficult for them to advance the community, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we all face the same sorts of issues. They just take different forms and a different level of intimacy in each community. And so the smaller the community, the stronger the politics become sometimes. And so certainly the prevalence of leadership and the ability and strength of leadership in those communities is sometimes even more important than it is in bigger communities.
All right. We'll take a break and talk more with Dave right after this.
Having food that is consistently great is something worth talking about. Great food makes a great event. That's why the Gering Civic Center goes the extra mile to serve great meals at every event we host. Along with the caterers, the meat shop, we are a great partnership, hosting events for over 23 years in our elegant, column-free ballroom while never charging room rental if food is purchased. Visit GeringCivicCenter.com or call 436-6888.
All right, we are back on News Extra. We're very pleased on our last show of the year to talk to Dave Rippe. He is the new Department of Economic Development Director, been on the job a couple of weeks, and is touring central and western Nebraska here on his second week of the job. I noticed on this, like you said, major itinerary you have today, things in yellow are the projects that have been done with the advantage of tax increment financing. Explain why tax increment financing is such a great economic development tool.
Well, I think it's one of the few tools we have as communities across the state in order to be able to invest in ourselves. And really, it comes down to local discretion and local authority over local issues. And so communities are able to use that program within, obviously, the parameters of state statute to determine their own success. It's been a powerful tool in my hometown of Hastings. I know it's been a powerful tool out here. And as I've been around the state and I've been able to see projects that are TIF projects, it's clear to see how it's been put to good use throughout our state.
All right. Career academies, that's one of the things you're going to talk about. I would think community colleges and career academies in high schools are probably one of the things you're going to get a good look at today, the importance of that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's something that we've lived and breathed in Hastings for the last 5 to 10 years, something I've been intimately involved in, and I'm really looking forward to getting out and seeing how other communities are doing it. The school system out here has been in the news across the state over the last few years for their efforts, and I really believe are leaders in the state on career academies. And so the opportunity to come out here and see it firsthand is incredibly exciting. You're traveling with Star today, the Economic Development Director in the city of Scottsbluff. When you are trying to help people, enable people to do things, how important is it to have a strong local economic development person? There is nothing more important than that, and having those incredibly talented people throughout the state. We can't do our job as an agency without that, and so kind of helping to build up that capacity around the state of folks. Star is a longtime employee of the Department of Economic Development, and I was trying to decide this morning as I was at the hotel whether it was a better thing that she was out here or how much I missed the fact that she's not with the state anymore. But to your point, having those talented people out here in those communities, it's incredibly important for our state, and it's a great asset to the department. All right. Well, running a little past time. We appreciate you coming in, and good luck on your tour and your new job. Hey, thanks a bunch, Kevin. Thanks for the opportunity. You bet. Dave Rippe, new Department of Economic Development Director.